I've had people asking me to talk about this topic, and to be quite honest, let me start with this. I don't often ask for a little bit of slack on a topic I'm covering. This is one such topic I'm going to ask for some slack. Please cut me some slack on this. Let me explain. When I got into virtual YouTubers, it was largely because it was such an innocent, fun, just awesome thing that was going on. Especially with all the current stuff going on in the world and personal stuff going on, it's just a nice escape. It's a nice change of pace, a nice breath of fresh air to just enjoy the cute, awesome, cool content that's free from drama. This topic has a lot of drama involved with it. There's the business side, and then there's the drama side. You see, I do have the letter here from Hololive, their announcement. We'll take a look at that and read it. But there's also drama that apparently occurred back in 2019 with this virtual YouTuber, and a whole messy situation. Let's start with the business side of things, and maybe I'll talk about the drama a little bit and give my thoughts on that. Here is the statement from Hololive. I believe a lot of people have already read this since I am getting to it a little bit late. To not be redundant for those people, let me paraphrase what's going on here. They start by bringing up the issue and apologizing for prior issues that may have been incurred due to a lack of translation, and then they explain what's going on with Aloe here. And apparently what happened is, after she signed her contract with Covercore as a 5th gen member, she did a test live stream on the video streaming service Twitcasting, which she used her then on-release 2D model. To my understanding, looking into this further, this was agreed upon and this was okay behind the scenes. The issue arises because she did not delete, apparently, she did not delete her video on demand, the VOD, afterwards, and that remained available to the public, which then resulted in her character being leaked prior to the debut of 5th gen. Covercore deemed this to be a breach of contract for disclosure of confidential information and placed a 2-week suspension on her. However, after further discussion, Aloe decided that she was not physically or mentally prepared to continue with the activities. In accordance with her own wishes, we have decided that it would be best to allow her to graduate early. We would like to thank all the fans and everyone involved for their support of Aloe. We apologize for the confusion, and we hope that you will continue to support us and our talents in the future. Like I mentioned, there is also some drama involved, and Aloe apparently did have some terrible things done to her. Some people have allegedly doxed her information and have been going after her. So it's definitely a complicated situation. However, I see some people blaming Hololive, and I really don't see how Hololive is responsible for this at all. If anything, they were nice to Aloe, because people have to understand, and I do think most people understand this, however, it seems like some certainly don't. These virtual YouTubers and like Hololive and all this is not just like an independent creator live streaming. They are running a legitimate business here. That's what this is. It's a business. They are contracts, contractual obligations. If you breach the contract, you can open the company up to liability. And that's not just bad for the company. It's bad for all of the talents involved. So this stuff is serious. Maybe Aloe didn't know that it would leave a VOD after she streamed. That's a totally fair argument. It's totally reasonable to think, okay, the stream is private. I'll stream privately and test it out, and that'll be done. Maybe she didn't know that it would leave a video afterwards that the public could then see. However, my counterpoint is, when you're involved in a legitimate business like this and you have a contractual obligation to not leak information like that, maybe it would be a good idea to double check the page afterwards and be sure there's no VOD or anything like that. Again, let me emphasize that Aloe has had, from what I've seen, some terrible things happening to her, and that's awful. I don't support that at all. It really sucks that she's going through that. And I will go into more detail about that stuff in a moment. But I really think, yeah, man, you can't just blame Hololive for this particular situation. And previously I have, I've put pressure on Hololive with the Mel situation. I gave them some slack where I thought it was fair. I also put pressure on them where I thought they had done some, they were at fault for certain things regarding how they handled Mel and that whole thing. But again, in this situation, I really don't see how people could reasonably blame Hololive for this. Now, that said, there was apparently something weird going on a couple weeks ago when Aloe made her apology video. There were some claims that Hololive was going around taking videos down that were translating her apology into English. Some people were saying that was to stifle information to the overseas audience, which is obviously a bad idea if that's what they were doing. However, that doesn't put them at fault for the original issue of the leak and the breach of contract. So let's acknowledge both sides. There were some translations made by generous fans, once again. And actually, I will link this article as well as another with information regarding Aloe in the description of this video if you want it. We have 2 Neanit reports. Thank you, GameWizard02, for that. Here's the TLDR of the translation, more or less. And I'm going to raise another hypothetical for you once we read this. Says, here's what she said. 1, she tried Twitcasting to test her live 2D with permission from her manager, but forgot to delete the archive. See, if we're talking business and contracts, that could be negligence right there. As I mentioned, this stuff is serious, man. These people are making a lot of money. There's a lot of money involved. It's business. She'll start streaming after 2 weeks starting today. We know how that ended up. Though she had a boyfriend, but the relationship ended way before her debut. This sort of information, to my understanding, shouldn't be given out to the public. There should be a separation. This is to my understanding of how Hololive should work. I'm not here saying, I'm not here making the rules. Let me clarify that. This is my understanding of how Hololive operates. You don't bring in your personal life with the character that you're playing, so to speak. So that very well may be part of why they actually were removing some of these VODs. Maybe they were protecting her. To be honest, they might have been. She might have revealed too much information here that also ended up leading to her dox somewhat. Maybe. Number 4, she'll accept responsibility for her own fault and only those of her own fault. She hopes that people will stop going after her regarding other rumors that she denied. Again, I don't support that at all. It's terrible. I will fully acknowledge that. It sucks that she's going through all that. And it says, note, I don't blame her, but those are her words. So if you haven't noticed by now, I'm pretty much fence-sitting on this situation. Although, I guess I do think Aloes a bit more at fault here than Hololive. And let me reiterate, because I know this is touchy, I'm not saying that she deserves any of this bad stuff to happen to her. From a business standpoint, though, man, you have to be fair with what people agree to do and not do in the contract. And it seems like she wasn't holding up her end of that contract. I don't know what else I can say about it, man. It sucks that she's having all this crazy stuff happen in her personal life as well. But to be quite frank, I think maybe that's also partially her fault. Apparently, part of the reason why she got doxxed was because people found like some of the... This is to my understanding. They saw a Twitter account, her personal Twitter account, and they found it because she had recently followed like other debut members and things like that. What I'm getting at is when you're stepping up to the plate and going in the public spotlight like this, and you have contractual obligations with the company and other staff and other idols, however you want to put it, you got to be careful about what you do online and what you put out there, right? Listen, these virtual YouTubers, it's a huge benefit they get signing with Hololive, man. They don't have to build a channel up from scratch. They don't have to buy the equipment, as far as I understand. They get to have, the whole setup. They get to have the prestige of being a part of Hololive. They get the networking. They get all of that, right? What's the cost? The contract. You have to follow the contract. Otherwise, maybe just do your own thing and be an independent streamer. Apparently, Japanese viewer grievances are quite similar to the points I'm bringing up, actually. They say, number 1, in the past she entered the industry, she spoke out harshly against the idol industry and treatment of VTubers by companies. I've looked into the situation. I'm interrupting here. I've looked into this further as well. And apparently she was also talking about like voice acting, not specifically just virtual YouTubers. But in, I believe, October of 2019, yes, she did do a live stream, which people have claimed only had about 20 viewers, where she did rant about certain things in the industry, so to speak. And let me emphasize the point that I just made a minute ago or so. When you sign with Hololive, you get immense benefits. She was streaming in about October 2019 with about 20 viewers or so. In 2020, the debut stream had, about over 100,000 viewers? So there you go, man. I'm adding this part afterwards to clarify some things. Yes, you of course also have a revenue share of sorts, where Hololive gets a percentage of the donations, however the contract is worked out. And you might have different contracts for different talent. Despite that, many people still think it is a massive benefit to sign with Hololive, and I think it's pretty obvious why. As I mentioned, the numbers themselves show it. And let's also take note of the claims that it is taboo in Japan to talk bad about a company that you have worked with, or something of that sort. And I'll even say, in my opinion, it's also taboo in the West, although I think more so, not taboo per se, it's just bad business. It's going to make people think, well, if they talk bad about this company they worked with before, despite the reason why, what's to stop them from doing that with other companies they work with in the future? Maybe we don't want to work with this person. Anyways, moving on. Number 2, made sensitive, unconfirmed statements about beloved ex-VTuber Chitose Kudo. 3, many are afraid that she is a liability due to the allegedly leaking information about a certain unconfirmed VTuber company. And I think if you want to blame Hololive for anything, maybe you blame them for even bringing her on to begin with. But I don't think that's a very fair complaint, because when you're running a business, it's complicated. If you start hesitating if you start hesitating to hire somebody, you may end up just hurting the company more. Sometimes it's better to do the hire and do the fire if it doesn't work out, as opposed to just sitting on nothing. These are all things that are factored into this. It's a very complicated situation, guys. I'm not trying to stress anyone out or make anyone feel bad about this. I'm just trying to kind of explain my opinion again, kind of fence sitting, defending Hololive a little bit. I feel very bad for Aloe. It sucks this is the way it went down. I do think she made mistakes. I don't think that means that she should then be doxxed and, you know, gone after in real life, and her personal life should be gone after by people and aunties and all this. That's absurd. It's also absurd to just blame Hololive. This whole thing sucks. Everyone feels bad, man. I didn't even want to cover this because I feel bad talking about this. I know, like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad either, that people want my opinion on this stuff. I've covered virtual YouTuber stuff before. If I just stop covering it, it's going to be weird. I don't know, man. This whole situation sucks. I'll show this as well. This is apparently a major Japanese video sharing website where they are going after, not the whole website, obviously. Certain people on the site, certain users are doing this. I'm not trying to misrepresent the whole site, but apparently some users on there are making videos going after virtual YouTubers, trying to dox them and get them in trouble with copyright and things like that. So yeah, of course that would be stressful. That would suck, like I mentioned. I don't know what else I can say about all this, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through, and it's all sad. I just want the virtual YouTuber community to be happy, you know, just not all this drama and stuff. It really sucks. So if you want more info on this, I'll link 2 articles from the Net, both by GameWizard02. Again, thank you very much, GameWizard. I'll link that in the description and pinned comment if you want more details on this. But I think I got to leave it here, man. This is just, like I said, again and again now, it just sucks. So thank you for tuning in. I hope this coverage was suitable. Like I mentioned at the beginning, please cut me some slack on this. It's a rough one, man. It really is. But those are my thoughts on it. I wish the best to Hololive, the best to Aloe, to all the talent. And like I said, hopefully moving forward, there can be less drama and just more good times. We'll see. Hoping for the best. Catch you later.